Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Another game from round one of Tata Steel Chess 2016, the 78th edition. 78 years they've had it there. Seems like a really nice town in the Netherlands. It'd be really cool to visit there. I live in the northeast part of the United States in upstate New York. This game between American Wesley So as white and from the Netherlands Anish Giri. If I'm not mistaken, in the Grand Chess Tour, which were 3 tournaments, Anish Giri has not lost one single game. So let's see how he does here in his home soil. Let's get to it. Saw an interview with Wesley So, and he decided to play the English against Anish. Anish he considers one of the best prepared opening specialists in the world. So he wanted to try something a little different. So we're going to get a symmetrical English. Let's go through it a little bit. Get a much an idea what's going on here. D3. Get for the idea for the dark squared bishop to come out. We see the light squared bishop has already got a place to play. E5. Knight D5. Good place for that knight. Knight comes back. Knight goes back to C3. Knight C6. E4. Now it seems counterintuitive to go E4. It blocks your light squared bishop on G2. It makes a D-pawn really backward, but I don't think it makes much difference here. Moves out the other knight. Now that knight comes up. Castles, castles. And according to the computer, that's the last book move. Bishop and D7. Let's take a look at it. Pretty symmetrical to me. The only difference I can see, there's a couple of pawns difference over here, but all the minor pieces are all the same. Pretty much. It's pretty symmetrical. Bishop D2. Interesting choice, though. I probably would have went to G5 just to make him move the H-pawn. H6. Knight B5. Bishop E6. Knight EC3. Now, it looks pretty closed up here. Let's see how this goes. Computer has a minor advantage for white. Nothing spectacular. B6. Knight D5. Here we go, the knight again. This time, bishop takes. Now, what would you take with? The E-pawn or the C-pawn? C takes. Knight A7. Now knight goes back to C3. Now that's a miserable spot for that knight on A7. Absolutely miserable. The computer bears this out. It's about a 1.25 advantage for white, and I agree. For a lot of reasons. Particularly that knight on A7. And the bishop on G7 isn't horrible, but it's not doing that well. F5, try to open it up a little bit. B5 looks interesting, just to get the pawns rolling. Queen of D7 maybe. F5, he's trying to open it up. He just feels like he's cramped. Now where's this poor knight going to go? How's he going to get in the game? He'll have to go here, here. Then you got to move this knight to get it out of the way. It's just too much time. H4. And Anish is in trouble right now. Give you an idea if you went B4 instead. After pawn takes, queen D7. White's okay. F4, trying to get something going, I think. He's just frustrated. Those of you were wondering on after F4 if he went B5 instead. Same deal. Bishop H3. Get the bishop to do something. B5. Knight E2. He's going to swing the knight around. Now, interesting here. I mean, who could resist this move? F takes G3 is the computer's second choice. Knight at E to C8. Which, who the hell would play that? I guess the idea is get some action going on this side of the board. F3. The knight basically has to go to C1. H5. Looks like maybe black has recovered, but I really don't think so. I think he's in a jam. It's a miserable position to play. The computer shows a 2-point advantage for white, but how's he going to get in? Well, here's what he does. Knight bishop 3. He's bringing the knight around. A4. Knight to A1. Pawn. Pawn takes. Pawn takes. Queen takes. It's looking miserable for black here. Knight comes up. Of course, can't take the knight because it's a discovered attack on the queen. Queen goes back to D1. The knight goes to D4. Now it looks like it looked a little better for black. But the knight on A1's crappy. Rook on B1's crappy, but looks can be deceiving. Knight C2, knight takes, queen takes, rook B8. Guarding his pawn. The other rook comes over. Rook B7. Queen B3, interesting. King goes to H8. Just got that line of fire with the queen on B3. If he got King 7 instead. Rook C4. The bishop. Rook takes. Nasty stuff. After King H8, Rook C4 is just miserable for Anish Giri. Just miserable. Rook takes. Interesting might have been bishop takes. Then after G5, H takes, queen takes. But even still, I think white is going to just destroy him. After rook takes, queen takes, bishop F6, he's trying something. Going to try maybe push his pawns up. He's got his queen here, but it's just not going to happen. Rook C1, it's over. Queen B8 doesn't really do much. After queen takes, rook takes, B4, and white is on his way. After queen E7, queen B6, what's he going to do here? I mean, he's desperate. Bishop takes, desperation. And of course, rook C7. And that's the end of that. So Anish Giri resigns. Anish hasn't won a game, or lost a game, I should say. And I think oh gosh, it's got to be over 30 classic games. A lot of draws, but a few wins in between too. So this is a tough blow for Anish on his home turf in the Netherlands to lose in round 1 to the American. Give you an idea what would have happened after queen to D8. And it's just, what are you going to do here? Black with a bishop? I mean, and then you just hit the queen. It's just miserable. Absolutely miserable. Anyway, folks, that's one of the games from round 1. So, congrats to the American Wesley So, winner in round 1. Hikaru Nakamura isn't playing in this tournament. That's my buddy. He's going to be about a week or so. The Gibraltar tournament starts. Unfortunately, there's a time overlay where Tata Steel is in its second half. Gibraltar's just starting, but I don't think Nakamura really wanted to play in Tata Steel anyway. Reason being that with all the elite players here, he'd have to show maybe some of his opening novelties or some of the things he's been working on. And being that the candidates final tournament is in March, he probably didn't want to do that. Playing an open tournament like Gibraltar is a lot more fun for him anyway. Americans are a lot used to big open tournaments. Europeans aren't so much used to that, where everybody plays everybody. But I will say, I'm looking forward to it. Candidates final. Caruana and Nakamura. To get an American in the final would be a dream come true for me. As a boy, I watched Fischer win the championship in 1972. I was 15 years old. So to see an American in the World Championship again would be huge, at least in my lifetime. Anyway, folks, enough of my ramblings. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.